Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Red Bra Project. And we are here tonight with episode number 41. And I cannot wait to introduce our guest here tonight. But first of all, I'm going to say a quick hello to Shauna. How are you doing? It's so good to see you.
Hi, I'm doing great. It's good to see you too. Random meeting we had this weekend in Old Navy.
No, I know. For our guests keeping up with us, I was kind of based out of New England a little bit this summer, quite a bit. I feel like I was there more than you were there, Shauna.
You might have been, yeah, even though this is my home. But
I
we
know.
randomly bumped into Old Navy when we don't live by each other. So, and this is not a plug for Old Navy, it's just where we were.
Oh, I know. Oh, we both brought up Kelsey, who was our one of our other Red Bra guests, but we failed to get a picture, Shauna.
Yeah, we did. That was probably my doing.
That's okay, because we did run out with like our pajamas on pretty much, so it's okay. All right, so we are so excited tonight to introduce you to Chelsea Culbertson, who many of you guys will know who are checking in with this episode, but our new followers, check her out at Choosing Chelsea. We are so excited to sit down with her tonight, learn a little bit about her journey, where she is now, kind of what she represents. She's doing just an incredible job out there being a role model. And I'll say all of this, Chelsea, but we'll get into this here in a second. But I'd love for you to kind of take the mic, so to speak, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, a little of your background.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's exciting to be here. Hello, YouTube world. Yeah, so I'm Chelsea. You may have heard of me from at Choosing Chelsea. If not, it's a kind of like wellness, self-love, body confidence blog, I guess you could say, on Instagram. And I'm from Monterey, California. I was born and raised here. I definitely had a lot of ups and downs in my life of self-hate and just overall negativity, issues with my body image and all sorts of stuff. And I've kind of gone down this long road of trying to cut out the negative and come to a place of more positive thinking and a place of more self-acceptance and kind of share that journey on my Instagram.
I am truly inspired by what you're doing. I know myself, I'm somebody that consistently so I guess we'll start there. Can you just tell us about the journey of maybe where you started and how you kind of are today? And I know that's a lot, but let's start with where you started.
So I grew up, I was definitely like a fast food addict ever since I was a child. Like I just never ate healthy food. All I did was eat fast food, and I was an overweight child, and I just hated my body so much. And I always felt that if I could be thin or if I could be smaller, that my life would be better and I would be happier. And that was something that just really stuck with me ever since I was young into my adolescence. And I ended up, a lot of other struggles along the way, but I had my daughter when I was really young, when I was 17. And then after I had her, I kept eating as if I was still pregnant. I still was super addicted to fast food, and I just gained so much weight. And my husband was really concerned for my health after my dad passed away, and he was like, okay, let's just focus on health. But then I got really addicted to losing weight and looking better. And then I realized that no matter how small I got, I still was not happy. I was never small enough. I was never thin enough. There were so many things that I needed to fix within myself. I still had stomach rolls. That's not okay. My thighs still touched, and I just was still not happy no matter how small I got. And I got to a place where I was in nursing school, and I just couldn't keep up with the lifestyle that I had accumulated over time. And I gained some of the weight back, and I just was so upset with myself in all regards. And I just was just so unhappy and so miserable. And I realized I was just being so negative about everything. And that's really when I realized that something had to change, and I wasn't happy at my smallest. I wasn't happy then. So I knew that the connection had to be more than just what my body looked like. And so I really tried to make this shift to just trying to be more positive and to actually just stop being so negative with myself. And it's just been kind of an evolving journey since then.
It's a beautiful story. And having a daughter, do you feel like that inspires you too, to kind of change that mindset so that she's not taking on those thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. And it's hard, and she's so much more active than I was, and my husband's more naturally thin, and she has like his genetics, and so I try just to take I try to not talk about it so much, but it's definitely hard, and it's definitely something I've become more aware of as time goes on, that like we learn these things from our parents, and it really just continues on downward from there. So it's definitely, yeah, it's heavy on the mind, that's for sure.
Chelsea, and you're on your blog post, and you have such great blog posts, because it's not just the post, but you actually give some useful tips that the reader can use and like put into action today. And one of the ones that we came across was just talking about your inner mean girl. And everybody has one. I mean, no matter what level, what status, no matter how much you weigh, what your pants or, shoe size is, it doesn't matter. Everybody has an inner mean girl. And you really talk about some tips that you can use, and kind of your turning point that helped you. And I think one of the things that really just kind of stood out to me was it wasn't that you started to do something, it was that you stopped doing something. And is it fair to say that was kind of like the beginning of how you took all of those feelings when you realized this isn't working? It doesn't matter how small I get, I have to do the work internally. Was that kind of is that a good starting place, or would you say that's kind of where you started?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that there's kind of one step before it that I don't recall if I talked about it in the blog post or not, but it's really just becoming aware of those thoughts, just realizing how often they pop up in the first place, and the situations in which those thoughts are coming. Like, are you around certain people? Are you in certain environments? But where are those thoughts coming from? And then just being aware of them and what triggers them, and then to kind of like quiet them, and just don't speak them aloud. Like, we all have those negative thoughts, like, I'm so fat, I'm so worthless, whatever it is. We all have been there. We'll complain to our friends, oh my God, I need to lose 20 pounds. I can't wear that bathing suit. I can't do this. I can't do that. Like, we're all guilty of it. We've all been. And this, I really focus on, like, I wouldn't say anything negative about others. I did my best. Just look in the mirror and just start accepting myself, which is unfortunate or positive and all that.
And that makes sense. You reference a book. Are we recording again?
Yeah, it was still recording, ladies. Sorry, go ahead.
Perfect. No, that's fine. Then we got Chelsea's answer, so that's really all that matters.
Okay. I hope that we did. Can we recap it really quick?
Let's see. Remind me. Where were we? I totally
We were talking about negative people versus your inner mean girl.
Oh yeah. I feel that it was really just like me. I was the mean girl. Like, it was really me. And I had to fix my own internal dialogue and just really focus on just not being so mean to myself.
Yeah. That's a great perspective, because I feel like we sometimes are like the meanest to ourselves. And it's like, would you say that to your good friend? Would you say that to your sister? Would you say that to somebody who you just met on the street? They're asking you for their opinion about their outfit. So that's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to Renee's point about talking about, would you say that to somebody else? And this is why I asked about your daughter, because I didn't realize what I was doing. Sometimes I'd say something, my daughter would then catch me and be like, but I think you're pretty, Mom. And I'm like, oh, what did I just say? Like, you don't even realize how much you're tearing yourself down. And so we kind of are our own worst critics at times.
Yeah, definitely.
Chelsea, you mentioned something too about kind of about bathing suits. And I think that's something that is huge for so many of us. We feel so self-conscious. It doesn't matter what type of suit you put on sometimes or kind of where you're heading, that kind of thing. But we can get really hard on ourselves when it comes to summer and the bathing suit season. And you do an incredible job of just showing us how to honor our bodies and love ourselves and kind of, why we should. I think one of the things that you mentioned, is that ultimately, we are here, we are alive, we're living life, and we have legs that could walk, and everything like that, and it's just incredible. So I guess when did you get the courage or strength to say, you know what, I'm going to showcase myself in bathing suits, and I'm going to empower other women through this and show them that they should love themselves too and not miss out on those moments of life?
I've always like loved bathing suits. I mean, I would never buy any, but I like always loved them. And when I lost weight, I actually did that. I don't want to say it all had to do with losing weight, but when I did lose weight, I actually did start to wear bathing suits, and I started to get more comfortable wearing them. And then once I got used to wearing them, even as I gained weight back, I realized that I was still worthy of wearing the bathing suit, even though I was in a bigger body. And I realized, it really just comes from practice, and just the more times you go out there in the shorts or in the bikini, like, whether you're wearing it in your yard or your house, and then you go to the beach or the pool, it just goes to show that you're just putting on a clothing, you're just putting on something. And I think that we all deserve to live our lives and not be so hyper focused on what our bodies look like while living them. And we get so caught up into not doing things or participating or just kind of sitting on the sidelines of our lives because we're afraid of what our bodies look like while doing those things. And it's just kind of heartbreaking because, yeah, I don't have the typical perfect body, but I can still wear a bathing suit, and I will still wear a bathing suit. Even if I like wake up in one morning and I'm having a really bad body image day, like, yeah, I'm still going to put on a bikini and I'm still going to go to the beach because I like to go to the beach and I like to feel the sun on my skin. And really, if people think negatively about that, like, that's really their opinion and it has nothing to do with me. It's all about them. And I just try to put that message out there, and just showing up and showing that it's okay to go and wear a bathing suit at the beach if you have cellulite, if you have extra fat on your thighs, on your stomach, on your arms. Like, it's okay to just show up no matter what.
I love it.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. So what are your tips for people in our audience that do struggle with that? How do you not veer to that negative? How do you try and stay away? Because I think there's probably many members watching right now that have gone on that seesaw diet, up and down, where they have a great day and they feel good, and then a week later, maybe the same pair of jeans don't fit or something. And so how do you not immediately go to that negative?
It's hard, and it's just really like practicing having grace with yourself and just being accepting and just being like, yeah, it's okay. Like, okay, those pants don't fit. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Yeah, that kind of sucks a little bit. Those were great pants, but it's still okay. You're not a failure. You're not a horrible person because of it. And it really comes down to just, it takes a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of inner work. Like, it's not easy. You're not just going to wake up one day and be like, oh yeah, I'm perfect, I'm fine, like whatever. No, it's like you have to wake up every day and decide that you are going to work on yourself and work on the relationship you have with yourself, and that you're going to work on being a little bit happier and just being more gentle on yourself. Because I have people tell me all the time, like, oh, I wish I had your confidence, or if only I could be as confident as you are. But honestly, like, they could. Anyone could. You just have to work, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work, and people don't realize that. They just see someone that shows up and they think they're confident and they're like, oh, that's nice. But they don't realize all the work that goes into it.
It's so true. I feel like it's like a muscle. It's a muscle that doesn't get enough recognition sometimes, that you have to constantly work. And once you get it so strong, if you stop working it, it gets weak. So it's not something that you can walk away from. So yes, 100% to everything you just said about that. You talked about kind of one of the books that kind of inspired you. Did you guys already talk about this when I went still?
We were talking about it, yeah, but you might have a different point. So
Okay. I was just curious kind of what book that was, if you could share it with our viewers, and then kind of what drew you to it, like what you take from it.
So, okay, a little backstory here. Like, I'm honestly not much of a self-help book junkie at all. Like even my favorite self-help books, I've never finished them. I just have a really hard time reading nonfiction, and I have a hard time reading self-help books.
Fair
And
enough. You like want to unplug probably and just kind of like zone out and go to a different place and not have to think about stuff.
well, yeah, it's hard. It could be really exhausting to just kind of like focus on all the things that you need to work on. And so I was never able to kind of buy it or get into it. But the first book that really did resonate with me is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, which I'm sure so many people could relate to. And I'm sure that was, if maybe a lot of people's first self-help book that they've ever read too. And that really did kind of like help get me started on just trying to be more positive. But I think people forget too that like you don't have to start there. Like a lot of these things in self-help books are so kind of fluffy in a sense. They seem very intense right away. And it's like, say your affirmations in the mirror and all this stuff. But like, you don't have to go that far. It's really just making sure to take little baby steps. And honestly, it could feel like almost too much pressure to try to follow all these things that you hear in a book. And it can make you, almost more unhappy because you feel like you can't do those things that you see in the book. So I think it all just comes down to like being self-aware and realizing that where you're at is okay and you don't have to do what anyone else is doing, but using these things as guides, which is really helpful.
So for our audience that might not know everything about you, your blog, is it a launching pad for you to have clients? Do you have clients now, or what is the next step? Is this your full-time career?
No, I'm actually a registered nurse. So I work as a nurse part-time at a trauma hospital. I'm on float pool, so I go to a bunch of different units. But I honestly started my Instagram 6.5 years ago, and it just started as a weight loss account. Like I was just posting transformation pictures, and it just kind of grew from there, and it evolved. And I started my blog just so I could have an extra source of community and an extra place to put extra material. And honestly, building the blog has been a struggle because it's been hard to keep up with Instagram and that. And I have a YouTube I try to work on too. And it becomes a lot because it's not my full-time job. And I've tried to coach before, and it just isn't for me. I just don't, it doesn't light my fire. And so I try to put myself out there, and I do love showing up on social media. I would love to get into more speaking and stuff like that. I'm hoping to have a podcast soon, so we'll see where it leads. But yeah, I say that Instagram is like my part-time, full-time job because it really is very time consuming, but we'll see one day.
No, we totally get it. And you are doing incredible exactly where you are. And I mean, have complete respect for you as an RN, and then a working mom, and then kind of a social media influencer, so to speak. But I mean, a role model. I'd like to use the word role model because you truly are. We just love how authentically you share your journey. So that's one thing that attracted us to you. So thank you for taking the time to be here with us tonight. So I'm going to kind of throw out a wild question here. If you had to kind of give a shout out or give some love to maybe someone else who has kind of lifted you up and helped guide you, who would that be?
Okay, well, I just have to say I only started following her recently, and more of my like new journey has been trying to build my presence and build my community and just trying to provide more. And someone that's been a big inspiration to me is, I'm sure you know her, Sarah of the Birds Papaya. She's just amazing, and she's been super inspirational to me, and seeing what she's built and just showing up authentically, and yeah, and just being an amazing person who loves to collaborate. That she's been awesome.
Awesome. I know. So good. Well, Chelsea, thank you so much for your time with us tonight. And one of the things that kind of we end every show with is asking what your red bra moment was. And Shauna, you picked up on this a little bit earlier, But the pictures were incredible. The stories were even better. But what was your red bra moment?
Okay, let's see. Red bra moment. I have to say that when I was down in LA, that was a really incredible experience. Just being there, surrounded by powerful women. We weren't caring about our bodies, just that feeling of being welcome and just fun and just enjoying our lives without having to worry about what anyone else thought.
I mean, that photo shoot on the beach, you feel everybody's energy of how happy they are to just be with other women, not being judged and just being happy. Like that's what radiates from those photos when I look at them.
Yeah. So powerful.
Yeah. And that's exactly how I feel when we go to your Instagram page. I feel energy, positivity. It's just kind of like exciting, but not in an intimidating way. So I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
I'm glad. Good. I'm happy to hear that.
We feel so honored that you are our guest tonight. One other thing that we do is we close every show with a quote, something that we feel is very fitting for our guests. And the one that we chose for you tonight says, if you're searching for that one person that will change your life, take a look in the mirror. I think it is you. Think that you are teaching everybody that without that self-love, without that inner self-care for yourself, that you're not going to really show up for anybody. So
I love that. I love that.
Well, we are so honored that you are our guest tonight. Can you please share with our followers and our viewers where they can find you and how they can stay connected?
Yes, you could find me on Instagram at Choosing Chelsea. My website is iamchoosingchelsea.com. My YouTube, you could find me at Chelsea Culbertson. And podcast hopefully sometime early next year. Stay tuned for details on that. But definitely I'm most active on Instagram, and you could find basically anything else of mine through there.
For sure, you guys. She has the best stories going. Look, just kind of go through her highlight reel and you'll get a good overall understanding of what Chelsea is and what she's bringing to this incredible world and how she's empowering women. So it's so awesome. So thank you, girl, for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much. So nice to meet you.
We are so sorry for the technical difficulties. We're hoping everything blends together. This was just a small snippet of Chelsea. As Renee said, you can definitely check out and learn more about her on her Instagram page. We will be featuring her on ours, which is at the Red Bra Project. You can also visit our website, theredbraproject.com. We'll have a link to the YouTube video there, which you're watching now, so obviously you found it. But we'll also have our blog post of Chelsea up the following week so that you can get more details on this fantastic woman that is sitting with us tonight. So don't forget to like and subscribe on our channel, and we look forward to seeing all of you soon. Thanks, ladies. Have a great night.
Night, everybody.